Welcome to the Foxhole. I'm Nandor Fox Shaffer, and in today's episode of The Art of Writing Comics, we're going to be looking at Generation Gone, Issue 2, written by Alice Scott and drawn by Andre Lima Arajo. Let's get to it. And we're back taking a look at Generation Gone. This is Issue 2 here, and I mentioned in my video for Issue 1 how the first page is actually the cover. So this is something that each issue does. And here we have Ellie or Elena, one of the three main characters of this story. She's flying and she's having a grand old time. There's actually tears coming out of her eyes as she's flying. She's just overjoyed. You can tell she's somewhat out of control because this is the first time she had the ability to fly. We get a little hint of her powers here, coming off that really horrific cliffhanger for issue 1. We all wanted to know, what kind of powers are they going to have? So this issue is about kind of coping with their abilities, figuring them out, and it's done really well. And so let's take a look and check it out. It's the same. Here you can see the GG a little more. Generation Gone. So yeah, Ellie is flying, and Baldwin and Nick are still trying to figure out, what can they do. Ellie can fly, so that's pretty awesome. She's like, "Can you hear me, guys? How are things going?" So they don't know yet. Nick's trying to jump and fly, but he can't. So he asks Baldwin if he can do something for him. And that's whack him really good. So grab that plank and hit me as hard as you can. And he's not hurt by it. He has invulnerability or strength of some kind. And I like this scene. Baldwin's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he's like, "For what? Helping me figure out what my superpower is?" This is a great issue if you're writing a superhero comic and maybe you need some ideas, or you're looking to see how to take a character and show that that growth for their powers. Maybe this is something that will help with kind of giving you some ideas or seeing how it's done when it comes to younger characters, especially dealing with their abilities and trying to figure them out. And that's always kind of a tricky thing. I remember writing Seasons Volume 1, and when Fletcher is discovering his abilities and how to react to them and writing that, it's not as easy as it sounds, and you don't want to be too cliche about it either. And that's something that this book really avoids doing, and I really enjoy that. So she's flying. She's actually entering the atmosphere, past it, and she just keeps going and going and going, and her clothes are burning off, and she is in space now, looking at the sun. So yeah, she's pretty powerful now, and it's a great sequence, and I love seeing this in the sun and kind of the space and the stars. All that imagery will come back in the finale too. So L.S. Cott knows where he's taking this story, and we'll see that as we get further through these issues. And all that dialogue that was there, that's Mr. Akio and General West talking about General West found out what Mr. Akio did, and he fesses up, and basically he's telling him he's getting prison time, but the general wants to take in these kids, but Mr. Akio is going to go with him. We learned something more about his backstory in this issue, and we get a hint of it here. Mr. Akio tells General West that he could use the same technology to help General West's daughter. She still can't walk, can she? And General West is like, you're crossing a line. I don't care. These children need to be secured and safe. Are you trying to save them because you couldn't save your own? Who is crossing a line now, General? The general says, I pulled my daughter out of a burning car. My body and my soul will never be the same. I pulled her out as I inhaled my wife's burning body. You will not use my daughter as a negotiating tactic. Mr. Akio says, lucky you, when an earthquake hits, they just slip out of your hands and fall into a hole that closes up right after, and then a building falls on you and the lights go dark. When you wake up, you're a miraculous survivor, and all you wish for is death. So we're getting some motivation for these characters, especially Mr. Akio, and learning more about them and showing they're more than just the scientist and the general. We're adding character and adding depth, making them more three-dimensional. And I really like Mr. Akio's story. Ellie had to steal some clothes, and Nick is messing around with a knife here. Baldwin still doesn't know what he can do. So we're still trying to figure out what his abilities are. And this is a really great character moment and interaction. Ellie's like, hey, you, and sup, I really wish you could be up there with me. It's like, oh yeah, I don't know, whatever. What I got is like, it's exactly what I always wanted, you know? She responds, so you don't feel anything? It doesn't hurt at all? Yep. I could fly you up, you know, at least a bit. What's the point if I can't do it myself? Nick is a poor soul. I feel bad for him, but he's kind of messed up. And so it's sad to see that. But as you can see, the character interactions between the general and Mr. Akio and the three friends are just really authentic, and they each have their own voice. And I really like that when a character stands on its own. They don't want to run. They get actually a warning from Mr. Akio to run. The army is coming. Run, hide. More contact soon. But Ellie doesn't want to leave. You know, leave her mom especially. They're going home, and they actually are in the midst of a riot. This demonstration that is being performed here, and this came out in 2017, and this is still relevant today with things going on in America about inequality and such. And that's another reason I really enjoyed this book too. Baldwin kind of creeps in on between Nick and Ellie, and just kind of says the wrong thing, and Nick pushes him away. All of a sudden, the forces, the special forces or police, start to shoot, tear gas or smoke and into the crowd, and it just chaos and unfolds. And Baldwin screams, "Run!" And we have this flashback of Mr. Akio and his children as he loses them, and just says, "Run, run, run, run." And he gets snapped back to reality. So really, really tragic scene here. And the general asks, "What have you done, you maniac?" Because he figured out that he warned them, and we see them here during the demonstration. And he says, "I guess I shouldn't have expected them to go gentle into that good night. General, in the simplest terms I can put it into, I made sure no child will ever feel powerless again." And there we go. It's the end of issue 2. It says hashtag GG refuse dream rise. There's some little neat behind the scenes art, some pencils and inks. I really like seeing that when they add the behind the scenes, especially with the art. And this is some of the stuff is from issue 1 as well. So yeah, there's issue 2. Please subscribe to this channel. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at Generation Gone issue 2. It's going to be really fun going through this series, so please keep up with it, and check out the video for issue 1, I should say, and like that video and comment and tell me guys what you think. Are you going to pick up the series now? It'd be really cool. And yeah, like I said, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.